Hey guys, and welcome to Red Devils United. I'm John and it's match day. It's Man United v Southampton, and let's hope United can get three very big points in today's game. Guys, I want to thank you for joining. Hopefully if you're alive you can comment in the chat box. All comments will be read out. We can discuss things back and forth, and we will hopefully have a good show today before the match, and hopefully be followed by a good match. As you can see, you can follow me on Twitter at red_devils_show. So please follow and comment, have some banter, whether you're a United fan or a fan of any other team. You're more than welcome. And please like, subscribe, and share the show with your friends, with your own followers, and help grow a good community of, yes, Man United fans, but also just fans of football, where we can all discuss and have a good time and a bit of banter, like when we talk about how bad Liverpool were yesterday, which is always very funny. We have a schedule today of, we're going to look at the team. From the team itself in this match, we're also going to take a look at who the star man is for me in today's game, and we will do a prediction, and then we will do a top 7, which is just 7 very quick things that I think will need to happen within this game to win it, and basically capitalise on Liverpool dropping points yesterday. Liverpool currently top of the table, but we've 2 games in hand, and it's a big if, but if we win those 2 games, we're only 2 points behind the team top of the table. So that is huge motivation for today's game. Huge incentive to really go out there and get a win, and if possible, get a big win with a big performance, which could be a lot harder than it sounds, guys, because Southampton are a good team. They're in good form, and it may be more difficult than we think to just come away and get a win. But listen, thanks again for joining me here. If you are live, please just comment in the chat, and we can have a bit of back and forth. Before we do get to the chat, we can just take a look at the first part of today's segment, the team. Now, I haven't heard of any predicted lineups. I think there have been a few. I did see a predicted lineup online. I'm not sure if it was from the Sun or if it was from someone else, but for me it was absolutely awful. It was a really poor predicted lineup, and if it is the case that that's the team we have today, I will be extremely upset, as I tend to be whenever Daniel James is thrown in. So let me just have a look here. The team that was in the predicted lineup was, I don't know who comes up with this shit, but okay. It was De Gea, Lindelof, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Telles, McTominay, Pogba, Bruno. It had James and Mata in it. So, I mean, it was just utter nonsense. What we'll do is we'll have a look at the team that I think should play in today's game. And let me know what you think of this team, boys. Let me know what you think. We have, obviously, in goal, David De Gea. We say it time and time again that, you know, we have got Henderson. He's a great keeper. Brilliant for Sheffield United last season. They're currently 20th and the worst team in the league, I think, at the moment. And it's no coincidence that they've lost him. He's a huge keeper. But, of course, he doesn't get in ahead of De Gea. Like, yeah, well, with FA Cup games coming up, the Carling Cup, but the League Cup coming up again soon. Champions League matches coming thick and fast. PSG midweek. We're going to need to start rotating the keeper, and that's when Henderson's going to find himself getting a good bit of game time, especially in those cup games. But we start off with De Gea. We keep a back 4 of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, and Telles. Shaw is currently injured, could be 4 to 5 weeks, but this is a great chance for Telles, who's back from his coronavirus infection, to really stake a claim on that left side. And against PSG he was fantastic. He played well in his last game as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with a run of games under his belt. But, you know, and he gets forward a lot. He takes the corners, which is great. He can hit in free kicks, but he also crosses the ball an awful lot, and he overlaps an awful lot. So hoping to see Telles really kind of go up here and overlap Martial as much as possible. But beyond Telles, then we have a holding midfielder. Now, you know, we've said this a few times that, you know, maybe Fred, maybe McTominay as defensive midfielders, they are not good enough to do this job on their own. Alright, you take Fred out and you put in McTominay. He's good, he's lively, he's energetic, he's young. but he's not great defensively and positionally to kind of hold this and protect that back four. You put Fred in there, and he has time and time again done great in matches recently, passing the ball forward, but he does get caught passing where he gives the ball away, and if he's the last defender and there's no defensive midfield behind him covering him, him losing possession, which he tends to do sometimes when he's trying to pass it, will put our back four under too much pressure. So goodbye Fred for today's game, and for me it's got to be Matic, who can read the game well, position himself well, and has hit really good form towards the end of last season since Project Restart. And then also when he has played, he's not done too badly, except for that Champions League goal, which we will never mention again. We got a midfield here of Bruno and Van der Beek. Now, I've got to tell you guys, Van der Beek was brilliant in the Champions League match. His passing, his quick one-touch, two-touch passing, his intricate play, his quick feet, very rarely ever loses possession. For me, he's got to start. It's probably his first league start. It's not an easy game to do it in, but we've got to start bringing him in. And ultimately, when you look at squad depth, you've got Bruno and Van der Beek there. You could take Van der Beek out. If you did, let me just see here. You could take Van der Beek out. You could put Pogba in. You could put, we're going to leave him there for now. You could put Pogba in. You could put Fred in. But that's what I'm gonna stick with, and I think these two can just switch and change and run kind of all over the pitch, covering an awful lot of ground. Then you got a front three, and I'm not sure what's going on with Greenwood, whether or not he's still injured. Only time will tell in relation to that. But I'm gonna keep him on the bench for now, and basically look at, we've got Cavani, who I think will hold the line. Martial out left, where he tends to do more running. When he's up front at the moment, his runs aren't. He doesn't run enough. He doesn't lend it. He doesn't come forward enough. He doesn't look for the ball enough. He doesn't move the defence enough. But on the left side, he has shown to have a bit more of a work rate about him. Rashford on the right. Hopefully, if he's having a good game, he can be absolutely fantastic. If he's having a bad game, he can kind of just be invisible. So really depends on which Rashford shows up, which Martial shows up. That will then, that'll tell us and lend itself to which United is going to show up. The one who can absolutely batter PSG and RB Leipzig and get a great win against Everton, or is it the United is going to show up that was beaten easily by Arsenal? That's my team, guys. What do you think? Who would you put in instead of any players that I have there? Who would you change? Or who would you like to see? Of course, you could switch out Cavani for Greenwood. You could change the positions of them. You could go with a front two and even bring in another defender, a defensive midfielder if you want, with a front two. Probably a bit too narrow for my liking, but that's who I'd go with. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Love to know if anybody else would pick a different 11, but that for me is capable of winning this game, and it's a huge game. It's a game we really do have to win. For me, there is no one star man in this game. I think Cavani was fantastic midweek, and Van der Beek was also brilliant. For me, he got man of the match. If you watch my post-match game regarding that Istanbul match, you'll see that I gave Van der Beek my man of the match. But Cavani was right up there, and we basically need Cavani, Bruno, Van der Beek, Rashford, and at least those four all playing at 100%, all on top of their game, in order to occupy Southampton as much as possible, so that it stops the threat of them coming forward. So for me, there's no real one-star man, but what we do need to see is these the new boys doing really well. Van der Beek and Telles having good games. Our defence needs to be clinically smart about how they get the ball out, not dwelling on it, passing smart, passing easy, not overdoing things at the back, but just getting it out and getting the ball into the pivot spots of our midfield in order to get Van der Beek and Bruno, turning and running at Southampton, and really kind of just unleashing the front three that we have, which I think could be really dangerous. But for me, the star men Van der Beek, Bruno, and Cavani. Those three guys really need to be on form 100% today to get a result. It's hard to tell what kind of a prediction we would see. I do predict that we'll win. I think we could win 2-0 or 3-1. I do think there'll be a 2-goal deficit or a 2-goal gap. It's a 2-0 or 3-1. Right now, I really just want to win. I want it for this man here. Okay, I want Ole to get the win. There's a lot of talk about his job, which is nonsense after 5, 6, 7 games. At the moment, we have 2 games in hand on the team top of the table. If we win them, we're 2 points off top of the table, like 2 points. If we lose them, obviously you're still 8 points off. That's a gap. That's not good. But we're not talking about 8 points off fourth. We're talking about 8 points off top of the table with 2 games in hand. So we win these 2 games in hand. There's only 2 points in it. We've won our last 3 matches. We're building a little bit of momentum. So fingers crossed, we can get a good proper result today. Really hoping for it. Let me know what you think. I mean, are you one of these people that are Ole out, or are you supporting him? And can you see the positive things that he's done for United? Bringing in Bruno, bringing in Maguire, bringing in Wan-Bissaka. Van der Beek now is starting to do well. He's easing himself in the squad. I don't understand this clamour of everybody begging for Van der Beek to play and start every game. When you have players like Bruno, when you have players like Pogba and Mata, who all vie for that position, who are all brilliant in their own right. Van der Beek is in a new club, in a new country. When Liverpool brought in Keita, Fabinho, they didn't play these players straight away. They eased them into the culture of the league. They eased them into the culture of the team. And then they slowly brought them through. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But Van der Beek, he's looking really good. He's really young. There's literally no need for him to be starting or for there to be a clamour for him starting like every game that he doesn't start and everybody's going mental. There's no need for that. He's done really well. He deserves a spot in the starting lineup, there's no doubt. But we have a lot of games coming up over December. We're going to need to do a lot of squad rotation. Klopp had a meltdown yesterday, made a show of himself in front of the media, whinging about 5 subs, whinging about the schedule. And I know Ole is also in favour of 5 subs, and Ole is also in favour of not having a Saturday early morning kickoff when he played Wednesday in midweek, and that's fine. Liverpool played at home. It's not like they had to travel to Turkey and then travel home again before their early kickoff. But it's a fair point. But you can't be whinging about 5 subs when you've gone matches without even making 3. He has 3 subs and he's not even using his full complement. He's complaining about Robbo or Robertson being tired and left full. But why are you playing him then? You've got another left full that you bought. Just play him. You've got a squad of 25 players. Rotate them. You've got so many injuries. Obviously, Van Dijk is impact. But most of your other injuries, your Trents, your Hendersons, Robertson being tired, Milner, I think it's a hamstring. That's due to you not rotating your players and not showing any trust whatsoever in your squad. So that's on you. You can't be whinging about 5 subs when you don't even use the players you have. You look at the team that Man United have here. You look at this team that I've just picked. Okay? Now, let's make some changes. You know what? I want to rest Rashford. Okay, Rashford played a lot of football. He had international football. Let's rest him. Boom. There you go. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to rest Martial. Martial played for France. He had a lot of football. He's played a lot of football. I'd like to rest Martial. Oh, look at that. Boom. Oh, you know what? Bruno's actually played a lot of football. He's played loads of football for Portugal. We really need to rest him. Okay, that's no problem. Boom. Oh, you know what? Matt is getting on in years. Maybe he's played an awful lot for us. He's actually played a lot. Okay, that's fine. Bring in McTominay. Fine. There you go. No problems. Now, I just changed 1, 2, 3, tree of players. I haven't even put Pogba in. You know, you can put Pogba in for any one of these. Okay? But it's called having a squad and rotating them. I would have no problem with players being rested if that's what the manager wanted to do. And there's no point on complaining about your team. Okay? And about the lack of 5 subs. If you're the one playing the same 11 or 12 players every single week. Okay? Trent is injured because you start him every single game. Okay? Henderson, Robertson. You know, you start them every game. It's actually, I'm really surprised someone like Salah and Mane and Firmino have not been injured more, because you play them every single match. So stop bitching about your players being injured when you're the one putting them in there every single game, instead of actually giving them a rest, giving them a week off. Okay, it's no one's fault but your own if you don't have a squad that you trust. That's on you. You're in the job 5 years. You've bought, I think, something like 26 players. Okay, you spent nearly $500 million. You've bought 26 players. If you don't have a squad that you can rely on, then that's on you. It's not the Premiership's fault. It's not BT's fault. It's yours. So stop bitching and moaning and making a show of yourself. Today's game is huge. As we mentioned before, Liverpool dropped points. This is a big chance to get 2 points on them and close that gap. I mean, I know we're looking at top of the table. Spurs will probably be up there today. And whilst we're in 12th, the gap between these teams in relation to points is not very big. And the fact that we have 2 games in hand is huge, but we have to win them. There's no point having 2 games in hand if you're going to lose them, because that just solidifies that gap and that point difference. You know, we need to win today. It's absolutely huge for us. Now, I can see that there is nobody here joined us on live. We don't have any comments, so if you're watching this, please comment in the chat what you thought the result would be. We've got a post-match reaction after today's game, 4:10. Please join me live and we can have a bit of fun and discuss hopefully what will be a win. You can put your comments in the chat box. They'll get read out. We can discuss things back and forth. You can discuss things with each other. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe. And thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. And again, if you have any chance, just like, share and subscribe. Enjoy today's game, boys. I'm going to go 2-0 win Man United. Let's do this.
Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. As the Reds go marching on, on, on. Welcome to Old Trafford. It's the bitter of our dreams. The power and the glory of the shepherd end will sing. The Muslim boys will take the pitch with marching at their feet as the Reds go marching on, on, on. Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. As the Reds go marching on.
This shirt belongs to you. Always has, always will.
Chevrolet, proud supporter of Manchester United.